All right, so lesson 3.1, parallel lines and transversals. We know that parallel lines are coplanar lines that do not ever intersect. So we can see arrows that are used to indicate that these lines are parallel and that they're not going to intersect. We also have two vertical lines that is our symbol for parallel. Skew just means that they don't intersect and they're not coplanar. So they're kind of like not related at all. So this line and this line would be skew. Parallel lines are planes that do not intersect, or sorry, parallel planes, because they never intersect. So like this plane and this plane above each other here, they're never going to intersect. So planes A and B. So just some different vocabulary starting off here. So let's go ahead and identify all of the segments that are parallel to BC. So going kind of in that same direction that are never ever going to touch. So if this is BC, let's go ahead and kind of highlight it in red here. This line, we need this line, so AD. And then we have this one right here, GF. And then we have this one right here, HE. Okay. So naming all of the segments that are parallel. All right, so now we're going to name a segment that's skew to EH. So if this is EH over here, then what would be something skew? Like AB would be skew. It's not parallel. It doesn't really have any kind of direct relationship to it. Next, we're going to name a plane that is parallel to plane ABG. So let's just first identify this plane, ABG. So kind of this plane down in here. So we want a plane parallel. Well, that would be this plane kind of up here that's never ever going to touch it. So that would be, we could name it with those 3 points DE, DEF or DCF, something to that of. So plane DCF. Now a transversal is a line that crosses at least two other lines. That's called a transversal. Okay, so we're going to look at what happens when we have a transversal, and that's interior, exterior, same side interior, alternate exterior, and corresponding. So we've got a lot of different relationships that happen here. So basically, when we cross a transversal, interior angles, that's what's between these lines, it's highlighted in green here. Then we have exterior angles, that's the blue, that are kind of on the outside of those lines. Think of it like that. Same side, well, that's meaning what it means. It's on the same side and it's in the inside. So that would be 4 and 5 would be same side interior, that pair, or 3 and 6. Alternate interior, meaning you're on the alternate sides and you're in the inside. So 3 and 5, 4 and 6. Alternate exterior, again, you're on the outside and you're alternating. So like 2 and 8 or 1 and 7. Those would be alternate exterior. And then the last relationship is what we call corresponding, and they're kind of in the same position. So that would be like angles 1 and angles 5, because they're kind of, if you look at it kind of as these 4 angles, this one's in like the upper left, this would be a pair, upper right, kind of upper right. Those would be corresponding. So kind of in the same position. Okay, so maybe if you want to put same position, if that helps you kind of remember those. So let's go ahead and practice kind of just with our naming, and we're going to be using this naming system kind of a lot here in these next few lessons. So I need to make sure that we know these. So let's take a look at 2 and 6. Well, those are in the same position. They're both in the upper right. So what was that called again? That was called, and we're going to call this same side, not consecutive. same side. Okay, so those were corresponding when they're in the same kind of position. All right, the next one is going to be 1 and 7. So this angle and this angle. So these are on the exterior. Oops, that should be an 8. And that should be a 6. So let's go ahead and fix that real quick. All right, so, because that's not a relationship there. So we want to look at angle 1, and we want to look at angle 6. So these are, 1 and 8, not 1 and 6. If I could get my right ones here. All right, so these are on alternate sides, and they're on the outside of our two parallel, or our two lines. They're not parallel. So these are alternate exterior. Okay, 3 and 6. So 3 and 6. So these are alternate, and we're in the inside this time. So alternate interior. And I'm going to abbreviate here for space. And then the next pair is going to be 3 and 5. So this one and this one. So these are on the same side, and they're in the inside, so they're same side interior. Okay. So if you want to go ahead and try it for these 4 and push pause and try it and then check, that would be perfect. You're also going to identify the transversal, so the line that is kind of connecting these pairs together. So you got kind of 2 answers. So try it and then check when you're ready. All right, double check A, B, C, and D. Line L corresponding, line N, alternate interior, line M, alternate exterior, line N, and then same side interior for D. So color activity, we're going to, with our colors, identify the vertical angles. So you can kind of color them, although you don't want to cover up the numbers. That might be nice to kind of still have the numbers just in case. But 1 and 4 are vertical, 3 and 2 are vertical, 5 and 8 are vertical, and 7 and 6 are vertical. Next are going to be alternate exterior, so you need 2 colors. Alternate exterior would be 1 and 8, and then 7 and 2. So alternating and in the exterior. Alrighty, and then we've got alternate interior, so alternating on the inside, so 3 and 6, and 5 and 4. You can use whatever color you want. And then next is corresponding, so in the same position, so this one and this one, 1 and 5. All right, then we've got 3 and 7, kind of in that bottom left. And then we've got 2 and 6. And then lastly, we've got 4 and 8. All right, supplementary. So which ones form kind of a 180? So these 2 and these 2, these 2 and these 2, and then if we go this direction, these 2 and these 2, and these 2 and these 2. So I ran out of colors, but the black would be different colors and the green would be different colors for those different pairs. All right, complementary, what adds up to 90? Well, the only pair it looks like we've got here is going to be the 10 and the 2, and then the 3 and the 9. Those are forming kind of our right angles here.